Welcome back to another video. This week, Jam and I are going to be going over the sensation sweeping the gamer nation called
The worldwide
Helldivers 2.
phenomenon.
Called Helldivers 2.
It
Uh,
is. It is a worldwide phenomenon, isn't it?
it is, but it's specifically in the gamer nation.
Even my mom's heard of Helldivers too. She's like, "What is that?" My mom
um,
doesn't know anything. She knows this. Yeah, no, that's how
uh,
you know it's big. She knows Fortnite and she knows this.
and she knows Mario.
I mean, well,
All
yeah,
moms know
yeah,
Mario.
but I mean, like, I'm talking about things that she shouldn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mario's like a whole nother. That's its own thing. But like, it's in movies now and all that. But I mean, like Fortnite, everyone's heard of that. People who don't know, at least have heard that term, that name. Same thing. Helldivers is getting there, man, and that's what we're here to discuss. Is why is this so good?
Oh
Why is
man,
this game so good?
it's one of the few games in a long time that I felt that as soon as I like get on, it's like you gotta, you light the beacons, bro, and you call all your friends to play.
Yeah, you're hitting up your buddies and you're like, you got to get this game,
Yeah.
and
We need to
it just took.
deliver democracy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, me and my friends are over there saluting each other. We're at work. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
We're dropping lines like serving up some liberty as we're passing by each other at work. It it's infiltrated the mainstream, and
Yeah.
I'm sitting here and I'm racking my brain trying to go like it's just weird because it's Helldivers 2, so it's like the second one. I never even heard of Helldivers 1, and for this game to just come out of nowhere like that. And when you first play it, it just clicks, right?
Oh
Instantly
yeah.
just hits a chord
Yeah.
with you, and you're like, okay, I get it. I get it. I understand why so many people are playing this right now, and why I need to start. I need to keep playing this, and why I need to get my friends to play this too. And I think that's the majority of what we're going to discuss is why that is, or why at least we think that is. And as far as like your just general thoughts on the game, Kenny, like,
I don't know. It
what do you think when I tell you Helldivers 2? What is your first thought?
fuck. Any team kills. This is the
Team kills?
Yeah, which is weird because in any other game, you'd feel that if you were team killed, it would be like the worst thing ever. But it seems like in this game, it at one point does fit a space. It's like so chaotic. And even in that chaos, there's a little bit of order, but still, it's like not unexpected, but also not like very welcome. But it's weird. It's I think that's like the one big thing that was a draw for me once I started to play. Because again, you mentioned this is part two.
Team kills?
I never played part one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, to me, when that's like a good question. It's like if I want to know more about you as a person, let me ask you this: what's the first thing you think of when I say Helldivers 2? And then if you tell me team kills, I already know who you are, Kenny.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. But it's like not everyone, and some people. We have a couple friends like that actually,
Just be
that's
dropping. They're just
yeah, that's a
dropping
component of
those.
the game. That's a
Yeah, just
component of the game.
throwing grenades without saying anything,
You
or
throwing
calling in
airstrikes,
strikes. Yeah, without saying
orbital
anything.
strikes, bombing areas without saying anything, with the knowing what's going to happen. And I've had people, I've had teammates who I could swear just turned to me, saw my body right there, fall in front of them, and proceed to just demolish me with whatever weapon they have. And I'm talking about you, Kenny. You're one of those people. You will deny
Uh,
it. You will deny it. But
I sometimes in trying to save you, I get a little overzealous and I end up being the one taking your life.
Kenny, I
Those
remember there was one time where
those
there was a
chargers,
charger
dog.
next to me, and you were proceeding to shoot grenades. The charger was nowhere near you.
No,
You were
no, no.
proceeding to unload grenades, and I had to tell you, Kenny, stop, like 4 times before you actually killed me, and you never stopped.
But you
You
know
never
what?
stopped.
But you know what? The charger died. And are we here? Are we not here to stop the infestation?
But we almost go home too.
Yeah, I mean, some of us, maybe some of us not.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That kind of talk right there is exactly what I'm
I
talking about.
think that's another aspect I like of the game is that it's not a game where it feels like I want to be the guy. You know what I mean? Like I want to
Yeah.
be, fucking the main character of the game. It's like you're a nameless cog in a machine, and you're kept in stasis until it's time to go out and do your job, which is
This game reveals our character as an individual. I'm gonna go deep.
yeah.
This game reveals something about you and who the type of person you are. But and so I because when you say that, I'm sitting there going like, I want to be the man. I'm over here trying to get all the samples. I'm over here trying to knock out all the missions, as much experience as I could possibly get. And then you have people like our other friends who are just like, I'll be by the I'll be by the extraction point.
Waiting
And
to
you're
get
just like, okay,
everybody out of here.
okay.
Oh man, what's
No, but
what would you say your what you think of when you think about Helldivers 2?
I'm just impressed by what they pulled off with this game because you almost, like I said, it came out of nowhere. And the first game, if you even had heard of it, was not. I mean, obviously, it's a different. Um, you said that it's they call it a top-down style game, like it's basically
The first one was a top down
yeah,
game, sort of like Diablo and those style of games where, um,
it's like
you
a
have
camera facing down on little
yeah,
characters running
yeah,
around. Versus now where it's third person and you're running around. Obviously, that and I mentioned this to you where I'm like, I get it how that could already make a big difference in from the last game to this game, but that solely can't be it. You know what I mean? As to why this game has gotten so much traction, and it's probably going to be like the people's choice. As far as like the new hot game this year,
yeah.
and it might be the biggest game this year. I don't know how like player count and all that, how that stacks up, but it's definitely the most impressive new game.
Oh, I mean, if we're talking about co-op games alone, where you're playing with other people, because I believe in the first one it was also co-op. There was no versus. There's no PvP. It was all PvE. Um, I mean, I could see this being game of the year. At least a co-op game of the year, if that were a category. I mean, there's a bunch of other games that have come out, and we're still early in the year.
Yeah.
But it yeah, it was really weird because I had known the first one, and I don't like that top-down style game. So when friends asked me to play part two, I was very hesitant. I really was, and I ended up seeing a short on YouTube, and
Hmm.
it showed that it was third person. So I was like, okay, I love shooters like this. So I decided to give it a try. And to be honest, like maybe from like the first time I left the level one missions, I think it was when I went into level two, like the game clicked for me, and I got hooked. I
Yeah.
honestly couldn't tell you. It's fun. It's a game you play with your friends. There's none of this, versus player toxicity that there is in a lot of versus player games. The community is great. I mean, you
There's
have
none of that negative feeling like I just got my ass kicked.
yeah,
Going up like somebody else is superior to you because
yeah,
you just can't be that good.
yeah. I mean,
Maybe you're sitting there going like, I don't have the hardware. These guys are all on PC and I'm on with this controller and I'm trying to figure this out. There's no way I can be as good as them. There's like none of that. There's none of that negativity
yeah.
that comes along with PvP.
It's you get in,
Uh,
you play, you have fun, you get off. I mean, we work 8 hour days, so we get home, we're tired, we've been working all day, we want to get on, play maybe a couple rounds, 3 or 4 hours, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, depending on what day it is.
yeah,
And you know what? It's an
sometimes
easy game where you can just chill, talk to your friends, jump on and off throughout the day. It if I were to say, I think it would be like the pinnacle of casual gaming.
I mean, what's weird is that you can't even jump in this game.
Yeah, but you got a jetpack.
You got it, yeah, but yeah, I don't know who fucks with the jetpack.
I love the
You,
jetpack. That's
I
my
know,
favorite
yeah.
item.
Again, this reveals a lot about you. No, no, but when I look back when I think about this game, like the one of the things that to me separates it from a lot of these other games, and why one of the main reasons why I love it, but also why I think it's taken on with it the way it has, is the fact that we're not competing against each other. We're like all on the same squad, like we're on the same team, and we're all putting in work for the greater good. You know what I mean? There's a purpose to that, and the devs set up the game and the narrative of the game to push everyone in that direction. And so I think that's one of the main things that kind of gives it like we're all in this together type of thing. And so now we have this thing where it's like we're trying to get everyone involved that we know. And the game itself, aside from the mechanics, and there was obviously a lot of thought put into that because they have it down. Like the way it functions, it plays well. Uh, the graphics aren't insanely good or anything like that, but you also get, for the most part, a game that it plays well in terms of like there hasn't really been much game breaking bugs or anything like that. No pun intended. But there's, dude, I can't stop saying puns like even when I don't want to. Uh,
You're a
when it
punny
comes
guy,
to,
bro. You're a punny guy.
and not even that, it's just bugs. They're everywhere. But so when I started playing this game, and I'm sitting there going like, dude, this game's awesome, and I'm sitting there trying to figure out why. To me, it's like, cause I don't get it twisted. I do like the multiplayers. I like the Call of Duties and all that, but those even get kind of old to me. For some reason, like we've been playing this for a while now, and it hasn't gotten old. It's just part of it. I'm sure is what the devs are doing to keep things updated. Um, the story of it, I could easily see them, and they kind of basically have made a movie about this. This is basically Starship Troopers in the game. We all know that, but
And
even if they decided to come out with some sort, I could easily see like a series being made
oh
from this
yeah,
game.
hell yeah, dude. And you mentioned Starship Troopers. I mean, Starship Troopers has a game out. I think it's in early access still, but it's like, oh, it feels like this one did what that game was trying to do,
I don't know if
just a
they were
little
trying to do
better.
that. I don't even know if they had the foresight to do something like what Helldivers 2 pulled off. But they were trying to do something, and they took that theme of what they were doing for Starship Troopers, and made this game that just clicks with everybody. And the way, I don't know, it's strange that they have updates coming out that they're ready for, you know what I mean, like new stuff's constantly coming out, and they make it feel, even though you're going off and doing, there's a bit of a grind component to it, so you're doing some of the same things, every so often, but it still feels like fresh in terms of what you have access to in terms of like customization. So there's parts of the game that feel fresh every time you play, and there's parts of it that it's like, well, obviously we've done this before, but the game itself, like how we execute, could be different depending on who you're playing with. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
And so, and then there's the side of it where it's like, you have those friends that you can have fun too and just kind of mess with each other, and to throw out a bunch of landmines, and then your buddy's unassuming, doesn't even realize that they're out there, and it just runs over and blows up, and then we can all laugh at him. That's the fun of it, though. That's part of the fun of it,
yeah,
is and some of it on purpose, but a lot of times, that's just a part of the game. You guys, there's friendly fire, so you can hurt each other, and sometimes there's funny moments ensue, because you're just trying to kill bugs or whatever, kill robots, and you may accidentally blow up one of your buddies. It
yeah,
just happens. It's I think that it's just a good dev team, man, because they have their finger on the pulse. Like they know exactly like what people are asking for, and I think they don't even need to necessarily um, listen to the player base. I think they just knew that this is the next logical step to add these kinds of things in there. You're hearing things like customization of the color scheme of some of the armor pieces and things like that. Pretty much everything that you probably have discussed is like, they should add this, they should add that. They're probably already working on it.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like they know what's gonna work, and
Yeah.
I
Well, the
feel it's like a gamers making games kind of move, you know. So it's like, if you
yeah,
had the capability to make a game, what kind of game would you make, you know? So
yeah. For
it,
once, it feels like actual gamers that are making decisions about a game and the
yeah,
way that it's played.
None of this fucking corpo BS. With these guys who at one point were like, "Oh, I'm ahead of a studio," or the board of people that are like, "We're here to make money, not make these gamers happy," and
I mean, if
they
EA
ruined
came
the
out with
game.
this, if EA came out with this, there would be a gambling component to it, and it would be forcing people to pay all kinds of money for stupid stuff that they don't even want.
Yeah,
And then on top of that, the game would probably be like $80.
you know,
And
this is 40
that's a
bucks,
great
dude.
point. That's what I
40
was gonna say. That's
bucks.
we haven't even discussed the fact that the game is $40, which is like cheaper than any other game, cheaper than
Yeah.
some PS4 games.
Well, they just moved over to $70 a game.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, like, it's
For a game that you can not only just enjoy with friends, but like so the price is one thing, but to me, I think it's just the way that they've kind of pushed everything to like, this isn't about you. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't about me trying to compete with the people I'm playing with or against other people to say that I'm the best at it's just you're going off and you're trying to fight for the greater good, and there's always certain
yeah,
rewards that
it's
we're all
always the
there's things
greater
that
good.
there's an end game that we're trying to reach, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And not an end game, but like there's like a goal that we're always trying to reach as a player base, not as a team, not as a squad. We talked about like I hope they don't add things like like squad names or clan tags or anything like that. I hope they keep it the way that it is now, so everything just feels like, just keep it as generic in that regard as you possibly can,
yeah,
so that
yeah,
we keep this whole like it's all of us versus the enemy, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And just unite the player base in that way. I think that, to me, that's probably the biggest thing for me, at least for my money, that is like the unsung hero in terms of like the reasons why it's clicking so much with people. It's just like, yeah, you have the game the way it plays, but then you have this component of it where it's like we're not, I'm not sitting here feeling like I'm terrible at this game, or you know there's none of that negativity that comes
yeah.
with some of these multiplayer games that you may play.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
I think a lot of that negativity too comes not just from like being like fuck I suck. It's the fact that somebody's always there to tell you you suck. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And that's what I think is really missing from this community. And it's the
Remind you of
fact
that.
that it's not about you, just keep
Yeah.
hustling and we'll get through this war. I mean, another great aspect of how it shows the community is not toxic. Early on in the game, there was that guy. Everybody made YouTube videos about him. I'll post his name here, or I'll link to one of the videos. But his name was something Demon Hunter, and he would just kill his teammates. So the community came together to like get the word out about this guy, and like everybody worked together to either make his life miserable for the things he had done to other people so that he doesn't continue to do them. And it seems kind of like the wrong thing to do, but it's sort of like the community taking care of itself, say
Mm.
we're not going to stand for you doing this to other people that are just trying to enjoy the game, really, and for
Yeah.
nothing, dude, because the guy would like kill his teammates, take the samples, and then leave, and it's like, okay, well, we all got credit for it, so what's the point, and it leads back to like some people just want to see the world burn. And this guy was out there terrorizing the community, and the community stood up and said, not today, motherfucker,
Not today.
not
Not today.
today. And
Yeah, that's not as fun when you're trying to do that to other people, and then all of a sudden three other people are shooting their shotguns right back at you, and
yeah,
you just
and
get
then they don't
you're like,
let you live.
okay, okay, never mind. I can't. This is not fun no more.
Yeah,
that's
a lot of what I
that's
heard
what
was
that's the
happening
thing with friendly
was,
fire is that they can fire back.
yeah, and people would like, and it's like people knew who he was, so they would kill him and then kick him, so they wouldn't even bring him back. They would just kick
Yeah,
him out of the match. And kicking him out of the match was honestly like all you really had to do.
yeah,
But you sometimes you got to send a message.
yeah. We can have fun too. We, it's like, you want to have fun, let's have fun.
Yeah,
Like I said, like I think it's just the way that they tailored. It's like when you mentioned that, if you try to take all the samples, which is like currency in the game for those people that don't know. But when you try to take, it's a form of, there's a bunch of forms of currency, but when you try to take all the samples, yeah, you can do that. But, all that does is just show up on your end game stats, and everybody gets those samples too.
Yeah,
So it's
everybody
like
gets credit.
everything is everything. Yeah. That's the whole thing. Everybody gets credit.
We all share,
And
we all lose.
exactly, and if you don't play well, then you just wasted your time just as much as we did.
Yeah.
And so that whole team component to it, which is why, to me, that's one of the more amazing things about this game, is that in a world where it seems like PvP, the games like COD and the Fortnites and all those are like the biggest games. um, to see a game like this that's just purely co-op, and maybe the most co-op game we've ever seen, you know what I mean, in terms of even the themes and the way that the game plays, um, is one of the biggest games, if not the biggest game right now. And I
And
try to
we
think about some of these other co-op type of games that were, and to me, there's been some popular co-op style games, but nothing on this level. If I ever remember, I don't remember anything like, I even when I thought of like Left 4 Dead, but even Left 4 Dead had like a PvP component to it. But so nothing like this on this level. We're just playing against bots really, and having this much fun doing that. That's what but like when you look at the way that they're coming out with content and like the new updates and all that, like it's almost like they had that planned and ready to go. So again, they probably didn't know it was going to be this big, but if you, I would love to hear an interview with some of these devs and just see what their real thoughts are like, and what points they knew that this was going to be something big. Did they know while they were making it that this could had the potential to be something like where it's at now, or was this always just did this catch all them by surprise?
Dog, I would love to ask them even a single one of those questions. I'd like just to.
Yeah,
I honestly would like to know. Be like, did you think it was gonna get this big? Like everybody aims. We know you're aiming for it. Everybody aims for it being that big, but it's like, did you, in your heart of hearts, did you honestly know that you would get here? Like, was there a moment of like doubt in your heart? And it's fine if there was because it's scary, dude. With as many games coming out recently, they blow up and then they kind of disappear. They have like
there's so
their
many of them.
15
It's like
minutes of fame,
movies.
but this one seems to be holding on and like pulling through and keeping going. And yeah, you're always gonna have like some fall off, but I think this is gonna be one of those games where people are just gonna play it forever.
Yeah, it's gonna be 100%. Like this is gonna be. I was gonna say I don't know if it'll stay this popular for I don't know how long it's gonna stay this popular, but I do know that this is gonna be the type of game that people will be playing years from now, and you'll still have that core group of people that are still playing this game. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you'll probably be able to just pick it up every now and again and fire it up, and there'll still be some games going, or you can order it. At that point, it's just you just need your friends now when the player base drops, how does that affect the common goal and the way that the game functions? That's a whole nother story in itself, or a whole nother conversation in itself. Because the game, it's like the way that it plays, it requires a lot of people to be doing the same things and accomplishing the same goals, and it reflects in the game for everybody.
You know what?
And so,
I have
it'd be interesting to see what happens when that player base eventually drops.
I have faith in the team that they will manage it properly, especially with
Scale it.
like I mean yeah, like you remember when we were going after the um, the automatons in the first 2 weeks, where it came out that like everybody was doing everything entirely too fast. So there was, I think the guy's name was Joel, was there to help the robots
Yeah,
push us
I've never
back a
heard the
little
name
bit.
Joel more than I have the past like 2 or 3 weeks.
Goddamn Joel. But yeah, I mean, so it, it's
Who
it's
is this Joel?
it's just like it's just a ton of viral moments with this damn game.
Yeah,
Every it's and it's it's working. It's working. I don't know how it's working. I don't
it's
know how long it'll
working.
keep working, but it's working, and hopefully it keeps working for
Yeah,
a long time.
yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, I'm not in it, put it like this: I'm not in any rush for any other, you know, What video games? I don't even know what video games
We
are
got
coming
South
out. I
Park
don't
coming
really
out
care.
next week.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
almost feel
haven't.
bad for
I
South Park
haven't. Yeah,
because that game is, I don't know how much this could affect like those kinds of games that maybe aren't, well, South Park's always kind of had like it's South Park. So, this is not going to be as much, I feel like parents would let, younger kids play this game. But when they hear South Park, they're like, hell no, you're not getting that game. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like, so I don't know if it ever really is going to have the chance to challenge a game like this. But I do feel like it's gonna hurt just because this game is so hot right now that it's gonna hurt the what South Park could have done, when it came out.
yeah.
I mean, that's gonna be interesting to see how that
I
plays out. To
mean,
be honest,
Pow World. I'm sure Pow World overshadowed a ton of releases.
yeah,
It knocked a few releases down early too. So I mean, I I've said it before in these videos. We're in the age of the indie game, and the
yeah.
studios are just gonna have to live with that. They're gonna have to
Studios are
figure out how to
suffering.
adapt. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, in the way that they price the game, in the way that they provide updates, in the way that when I mean like actually physically in the game and actual updates to the player base, and kind of just have, like I said, that's another gift in itself to be able to truly examine your player base and already know kind of what they want, without necessarily needing to ask people. That you have some of these other publishers that are like trying to get feedback from people already when it's too late, and it's
yeah,
just like, why didn't you listen to us from the get-go? People have been asking for all this and that, and they just don't do it. And then you have this company that's like, we already know what you want, it's coming out next week. You
yeah.
know what I mean? And it's just, that kind of thing. Like I said, the publishers are getting their ass kicked. That's what I'm like noticing as these games go on. Again, it's like you said, the indie games seem to be, and is that just because it's like, it's almost like a movie. You have a movie that's like, they didn't have as much of a budget, but they're able to. So at that point, you just have like this core group of people who are, coming together for to try to make this product the best that it could possibly be, versus say something else where there's all this money and people are just like, I mean, I'm getting
How
my
can we
check whether or not
multiply this money? How can we make this money
yeah,
more
but it's
money? I think it honestly boils down to passion versus profit.
yeah, that's a good point.
And
Yeah,
these publishers are just profit, and so it sucks for them. But hey, you know what? It seems like people are starting to vote with their wallets, and it's starting to show. So hopefully, I mean, hopefully we keep seeing these little indie games come out and just
this
well, not
trend continues.
it's not they're not really indie, but it's I'm saying it's not like one of the Bethesda studios, and that's what I kind of mean when I say like indie. It's like it's not one of the they're not one of like the largest AAA fucking studios in the world.
Yeah,
Making these kind of games. So I hope we see a lot of smaller studios coming out with passion projects, because it seems to be
that's what
that's the right direction.
that's what clicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I hope this goes in that direct. It just keeps going in that direction, and also starts to change the landscape of gaming in terms of like the way that these bigger publishers are doing going about their business. Because I mean, we could talk. That's a whole nother video in itself about how these bigger publishers are really hurting the gaming industry,
Yeah.
and their tactics that they try to pull in order to try to gain more and more profit. Um, Obviously, when you sit there and you make this more about the game and the gamers, and not about making money and all that, I mean, the gamers will repay you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's what's going to happen. And I don't think these guys, I don't know if they'll ever realize, but I hope these kinds of games continue, like I said, continue to come out and be like way more popular, if anything, than some of these AAA games, and hopefully open their eyes.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. If you agree with us, let us know. If you have your own opinions, let us know. Give us a follow. Thank you for watching, and we'll leave
What's what?
you with
Let us know what
peace.
your favorite part of the game is. That's what I want to know.
All right. We'll leave you with peace.